Hello, and welcome once again to today's tea. Well, it's Remembrance Day here in Canada, and particularly after some current events, there wasn't any way I was going to miss that. It was huge, possibly record crowds from since I've been going, and the ceremony doesn't change a whole lot from year to year, but it is a chance to hear the pipes, and I do like my bagpipes in the right circumstances. Anyway, made me think about tea and World War One. It seemed like the Imperial Army, Britain's army, and us, of course, ran on rum and tea. And you do hear stories about tea time in the trenches and the dugouts. They used to have these compressed tea tablets that they would send to the trenches in boxes. And I guess you could make tea wherever in the trenches, wherever you could actually start a fire. There was another practice. Apparently, it's a very old one, even before World War One, called tea and scrape, where you would take a piece of burnt toast and scrape the burnt toast into your tea. I'm not exactly sure what that would taste like, but apparently burnt toast scrapings were used as a coffee substitute all the way back to the Napoleonic Wars. Anywho, it was hard to me to think of what tea would be appropriate for today, so I went with a very simple Ceylon Superior, because I imagine they were drinking a lot of that in the trenches in World War One. Which, ironically, of course, when we think of World War One as a war for democracy, you have to keep in mind that this tea was no doubt cultivated by the Indian subjects of the British Empire. So they were in a colony of Britain, sending the tea to Europe to sustain the soldiers in the trenches. So it's a lot of meaning wrapped up in a simple cup of tea sometimes. A lot of nuance. Anyway, lest we forget, although sometimes we have to think about the lessons that we learn or should be learning from the past. Cheers.